We need to protect Cyberpunk 2077, ladies and gentlemen. I got this video title from the hip hop community. Thankfully, the social justice community. I feel like the outrage is needed. Now, I did a colossal oopsie. I recorded the deep web and I recorded everything but the actual deep web. So unfortunately, this Sunday you're not getting it. And this video is actually an add-on to another video that I'm making. About Cyberpunk 2077, and it's one of the games that it's finally about to come out. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason I'm making this video is because this game is really important to me. I've been waiting for this game as long as I've been doing this channel. Before I ever made Haunted Gaming, before I ever fucking played it, before I ever had that stupid crappy stream where I ruined the ending of it, yes, I still remember that, I was waiting for Cyberpunk 2077, or it was around that time. I watched the first CG trailer to this game, and I was immediately enamored at it. Now, CD Projekt Red is a company that I know I can trust, because they made games like The Witcher 3 that was amazing. The Witcher 3, which is the only game this generation, in my opinion, to have expansion packs that really mattered. So, this is a game that I like, I really enjoy it. It may not be my favorite setting, but the game itself is good enough that I can, get past my disdain for sort of the medieval fantasy environment and get into it. Not that I hate it by any chance, it's just when I look at stuff like Cyberpunk, I get really excited. Now, throughout the history of this channel, some of my favorite games, as you all have noticed, are Cyberpunk games. In fact, my favorite PC franchise is Deus Ex. I love Deus Ex. It's one of the best games that you can get your hands on. Hell yeah. Now, beyond Deus Ex, I love games like System Shock 2, a game that I played on this channel, and then I finished off camera because eventually I got so enamored I had to do it on my own. Even games that have slight, tingles to Cyberpunk, like Watch Dogs, for instance, gets me going. I just love the idea of being in a city, being a fucking anarchist against a corpo agency, or siding with them, doing what I can. It's what I love. And ever since I saw the CG trailer for this game, I knew this was going to be exciting. And the more and more I looked into it, last year when Xbox's conference had the whole Cyberpunk gameplay, and then, well, they showed the trailer and then they had the 40 minutes of gameplay, I knew I was going to get this game. This is what I expect from the next goddamn generation. It's a game that I literally built a new computer for, just for when it drops I can play it at the maximum settings. This is a game that means a fucking lot to me. And it's one of those games that's being the fucking target of goddamn the lovely mainstream media to attack gamers and do whatever they can. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't give a shit about politics. I really don't care. I don't care about any of this social justice nonsense, this anti-social justice nonsense. I'm simply a person that believes if you're not hurting anybody, do whatever the fuck you want, okay? I don't give a shit. I don't get into the arguments. I don't care. I just want everyone to be happy and no one to get hurt, okay? If that's really hard for someone to comprehend, then you know what? I'm sorry. But ladies and gentlemen, let me get on with it. Now, Cyberpunk 2077 is a game where CD Projekt Red, the developers, have made really dumb tweets in the past. Really, really dumb tweets. And, to an extent, I'm not really outraged by it, but I can kind of understand people who are really into this who get outraged. And I feel like if you're a game developer, just show the fucking game. Don't make stupid jokes that are obviously going to polarize the community. If you make like one of those Apache attack helicopter jokes, it's fine. I'll laugh at it. There's going to be somebody that won't. You want to sell your game, you don't really need to make the joke. Just show your game. And the more and more you move into it, one of the things that CD Projekt Red has done lately is introduce a multiple gender system. So instead of giving you the option of just going male or female, apparently, you get the option of a spectrum of genders. So you can be, this much male or this much female. And apparently there's a very vocal minority of fucking neckbeards on the internet who get really pissed off about this shit. And that vocal minority is enough to trigger sites like Forbes or anything to talk about manufactured outrage, all this kind of nonsense. Ladies and gentlemen, gamers aren't fucking pissed. You gotta understand, when you get a game like Cyberpunk 2077, a game that features an open class system, a character that is a blank slate, like V is literally a blank slate for you and me. We can make V whatever we want, a criminal, an outlaw, a good guy, a soldier with a heart of gold, a mercenary of the dark, whatever you want to call it, you can be what you want. And I think having the most options in a character selection screen, which by the way, if you ever get into a character selection screen on a game like this, like a good old classic CRPG, you're going to come up with a really intricate character. It might take you an hour. So having more options is absolutely okay. And if you only believe in two genders, if that's you, by all means, go pick the slider one way or the other way. And if you believe in like 77,000, then fucking pick whatever you want. Pro tip, increase the resolution of your game so you have more options on the slider. That's what I can tell you. Science right there. But ladies and gentlemen, I just don't care about this. I feel like this is such a non-issue, and to hear people get angry at it almost shocks me. The gameplay we just received a couple days ago, and 40 minutes we had last year is enough to show me that this game is so multifaceted that it's not even funny. It takes the concepts of Deus Ex. It takes the concepts of System Shock 2. It takes this open-ended design that you would only see in games with hub worlds and highly specialized levels into a full, sprawling open-world environment. The gameplay they showed us a couple days ago, the 15 minutes, which, by the way, the video was really off, and I didn't enjoy the editing for it. I saw a lot of people in the comments talk about it. That showed me that this game is more than just a fucking gender selection system, okay? It's more than just a political platform. You see, as somebody who plays video games and watches, you know, really, really heavy movies, I'm always shocked that M-rated video games are always behind the pack. This isn't a kid's toy anymore, okay? One thing that I can't really get behind is making this game a pandering nonsense for the sake of it. If this game has gangs that have like multiracial, you know, facets to them for no reason other than, hey, we have to reach a quota, then I'm gonna get kind of angry at it because I want this game to be as real and dark as possible. And last year we actually saw it get like that. There was moments in the gameplay where they were extracting somebody out of a fucking human harvesting section. Nobody talks about how dark and gritty this game can get. There's one of the movies that I loved way back in the day called Strange Days, which has some pretty heavy scenes. Why is that allowed to be filmed and released and viewed and given awards? And a game like Cyberpunk it has to somewhat get some form of politics tossed into it. God forbid if that ever happens. God forbid if there's any form of trying to get this game for a broader, you know, much more reserved audience. I want this game to be as dark and gritty as possible. The gameplay we saw focused on so much more gameplay additions to it, so much more multifaceted gameplay. The lore for this game was exciting. Hell, even driving a bike in this game looked fucking amazing. It filled every fantasy that I had. The whole element where you meet Netwatch agents, these federal agents that will hunt you down for violating crimes on the internet, the dark web in this game, or so to speak, is something that I'm so excited to get my hands on. And reading any information about this game where it just pisses people off because there's like some, there's a really non-issue situation, it just kind of tilts me off. And it's something that I feel needs to sort of be addressed. And this video needs to actually be viewed by people because a lot of people got to realize most gamers don't fucking care. I don't care, and I know a lot of people, they really don't give a shit about it. There's going to be a lot of people who get kind of tilted about the pandering nonsense for this game. I understand it. If this game starts pandering to people for the sake of doing it, because somebody at Warner Brothers decides to kick in the publishing group, or maybe CD Projekt Red decides to do it, I can understand that. But having something like a gender spectrum icon, having something like multiple genders in a game where you can still be a male or female audience, okay, you still can, but giving players the option to be who they are shouldn't be a fucking issue. And if you're part of the vocal minority that hates that, you need to fucking go jack off or do something. Because honestly, getting pissed at this, it makes no sense. You're being given a game that isn't pulling any punches anymore. This isn't a game filled with microtransactions, season passes, you know, cutout content for the sake of reselling it back to you, telling you that you're going to resell it back to you. A game that is dark, a game that is gritty, a game that, fuck, for me, fills my cyberpunk fetish. Why is there anybody that really needs to get angry at the non-issues for this game? Games don't have to pander to you. Games don't have to do this, this, and that. But at some point, everyone involved with the stupid political shit with video games, getting them to do one thing or another, or they have to be black or white, needs to just meet at a common fucking ground. Having an extra option at a character selection screen isn't a big deal. All right? The moment this game starts to lose the ethos of what it is, then we can talk. But for now, the game is fine. I just don't get it. You've been shown gameplay that, at least to my cyberpunk fantasy, fills it very well. And maybe I'm sounding really selfish here right now, or it's all about me, but you have to understand, I've been waiting years for this fucking game. If some bullshit starts happening, your boy's gonna get tilted. But ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Just like if you dislike it. Fuck. I am out.